What's up, beautiful besties? Welcome back to Turning Tides Tarot. My name is Alishia. Thank you so very much for being here with me. Y'all are freaking incredible. We're going to go ahead and just get a reading. We'll see what comes up for our wonderful collective. Of course, we're reading on the strongest energy right now, right? That's what usually comes up in our readings. And hopefully the message is for you if it comes across your path. That is my intention, a message that you need to hear. Before we get started, we're going to do the regular singing bowl, of course, and our intention setting for the reading. But I do want to just first quickly mention that we are A-okay. We were without power for a couple days after that crazy bomb cyclone storm. It did leave our whole island here, Vancouver Island, basically without power for a couple days. But yeah, we're back. We're back at it. Everything's good. We're all safe, all sound, all that kind of stuff. So thank you to everybody who was, wondering and sending love and prayers and concern our way. And second thing, I just want to quickly announce that I will be putting on a Black Friday sale on the one question personal reading. Now, normally it is $44. And they usually run anywhere between 15 and 25 minutes. It really just depends on, how long it takes to get your answer. But we're going to slash it down to $22 just for a limited time, friends. Just my way of kind of giving back for the holiday season. And yeah, just wanting to connect with y'all anyways. And so if you go ahead and click on the link that is provided in the top comment under this video, it should bring you to that special sale, okay? Yeah, and it is just one question, concise, not a lot of backup, don't need a lot of information, just your question, all right? So yeah, looking forward to doing those reads for you. Let's just begin with the reading here. Okay, here we go. Are you ready? Watch your ears. Okay, I'm calling on Spirit with so much love and so much gratitude. I ask for divine guidance as I interpret these messages. May they help us all on our journey towards our highest and greatest good. I'm asking for love, joy, peace, abundance, and protection for myself, for you, and for all beings on the planet at this time. Thank you so much, Spirit. All right, let's go ahead and see what the overall vibe is for our amazing tribe. Oh, not the orphaned energy. Why? Oh, it's number 5, and 5s are so challenging. Okay, so this is where we're at. Feeling a little bit, perhaps some of you here are feeling a little bit alone or lonesome at this time. Some of you, yeah, not for you. There's something here. Okay, all right. We have regeneration. Okay, regeneration. Listen, with this energy, okay, it's not the easiest energy that we're reading on today, and it is, of course, coming up because it might be the strongest, right? It might be the strongest vibe. Sometimes spirit or the universe, will leave us feeling alone, leave us feeling a little bit frustrated, leave us feeling like, or leave us questioning, like, why am I always having to do something on my own? Or why is it that people are always leaving? Or why is it that I can't seem to maybe maintain a friendship or a relationship or something like that, right? Now, it doesn't always have to be romantic. It could be, like I said, friendships, relationships, family. Why is it that people always seem to leave? And it's a really challenging energy. It's really challenging here. Now it's just a feeling of being alone and being lonesome, right? Okay, so it is what it is. And of course, as we lead up into the holiday season, we could be thinking about loved ones that we've lost, or relationships that have been difficult and perhaps need wishing that they could be repaired, or it just really covers so many difficult issues. And of course, in the holiday season, a lot of this stuff can come up. With not for you energy here, though, I've got to let you know that whatever it is, whoever it was. See, this is really tricky in a general reading, because I know there's someone out there that is going to take it the wrong way, especially if it's like a family member or a loved one that they've lost. I don't feel like this part of the message will apply to those of you. Okay, because there's something here about someone or a situation that's it's not really meant for you. It's not for you. And I feel like there's a little bit of a need here to change the way that we look at some of these things. When we are feeling lonesome, when we are feeling alone, it's usually not by our choice. It's usually someone has, walked out of the picture or something like that, where it can trigger some abandonment issues and stuff. Spirit is asking you to kind of look at it a little bit differently, and really come to terms with the fact that maybe that person or that situation was just not for you, not the best for you. There's something here, something deeper. There's something more perhaps for you that is going to bring in feelings of being very fortunate that you are no longer in a situation with that person, okay? Or those people. It could be a group of people as well. Oh, I just realized there's a glare here. Okay, again, this reading isn't going to be for everyone, but somebody out here needs to hear it. So I'm going to continue. Okay. So there's going to be a realization. All right. Now, maybe that's something that's presently going on. If we look at this as past, present, future, right? In the past, you may have been pretty down, or feeling the loss, right? Wishing that maybe someone could have been for you or should have been for you, or there's a situation where, you're feeling outcast from, right? Spirit saying, okay, and I feel like maybe you have switched your perspective. You have changed your perspective. Maybe something has happened with that person or with that situation where it made you realize, actually, yeah, I'm really glad that I'm not part of that whole thing. I'm really glad that I'm not actually involved in that situation or with that person, because things aren't, I almost feel like this is a message of Spirit actually doing something for your greatest and highest good, but it doesn't feel that way until it's like hindsight 2020, right? When we're past that feeling of being left out or being orphaned or abandoned, right? Then we come to see things differently, like, wow, I'm actually pretty glad that person left my life, because look where they are now, and I wouldn't want to be involved in that thing. It's giving that kind of an energy. Okay. So it's not necessarily for loved ones who have passed, things like that. It's more about people who are still here, earth side. Okay. That you may have been pretty bummed out that left your life. It does feel like, of course, it does feel like there's going to come a moment, if it hasn't already happened for you, it's coming really soon here, where you're looking at things a lot differently and realizing, wow, this really wasn't for me. And you may start to switch your perspective and see, okay, well, Spirit was actually trying to protect me from this person, from this situation. It's, what I'm hearing. Wow, it's interesting. Okay. So for some of you here, I'm hearing that, and it's not super clear how I should word it. It's basically along the lines of, Spirit knows what was said about you, or Spirit knows what was said in rooms that you weren't in. You know what I mean? It just feels like, obviously, you've been under some type of protection, even though it didn't feel like it. Okay. I'm just going to put it that way. Even though it didn't feel like it, you were removed from certain situations that were just honestly no good for you. Okay. Now, all right, enough time spent on that. Okay. Because I do want to move forward. There we have the regeneration here. And, it's really a feeling of, and I know some people don't like to hear it, but like what doesn't kill us makes us stronger, that kind of an energy with regeneration. It's like turning painful situations into power, okay? Turning painful situations, using that energy, transmuting it within the self, and turning it into some type of mission fuel, or that really gives, when we go through a lot of painful experiences, and you'll often find this in like artists or creative types, or people who are really driven and motivated to make a difference, in your world or their world or our world, like really, really go after something with a lot of passion and desire. It usually stems from being pretty down in the dumps at one point, right? And it's a really powerful transformation that takes place within the individual. And it really shows, right? It really shows as they move closer to their goals, as they completely change. Regeneration is like building anew, right? So it's allowing, yeah, it's an extreme way to grow, okay? And I really got to say that whoever is reading this you are a very powerful alchemist, okay? And you may not realize it, or maybe you do, but I got to tell you something. To take such painful feelings and to channel them into something powerful and something positive, and using it as this motivation or this mission fuel to drive something positive, to create something positive in your life. It's really powerful. A lot of people can get very much stuck in the orphaned energy, in the woe is me, in the, in a depression and a funk, right? And you could have been there for some time, but I do feel like something has recently gone down or is about to go down here, okay? Because with the present energy, not for you, you're going to see yourself as being actually quite fortunate. Okay, so it depends on where you are right now on the timeline, on your timeline of this situation here, of the energy, where you're at. It really just depends, okay? Because you could already be in this space where you're feeling very fortunate that something didn't work out, or you could still be in this and it will be soon. All right, now this is going to, it doesn't matter where you are on the timeline here, folks. You are going to completely transform because of this situation, and it will drive you towards your greatest and highest good, essentially. But yeah, there's something very powerful about you. And oftentimes, like, if you have always felt like you were maybe a little bit different, or maybe you've resonated with the term chosen one or light worker, or even like a rainbow warrior, or there's all kinds of these names, for people who just feel a little bit different, right? Like star seeds. Yeah, I mean, there's so many terms out there, and it really just depends if you identify with any of them, right? But you know that you're here for some kind of higher purpose or larger calling, and oftentimes, and you could be a healer, right? And oftentimes the people who are here to enact the biggest changes, right? Often go through some very difficult experiences, okay? And it just, I wish I could tell you that I knew for sure why, this happens, but it does seem to happen. And from the best of what I can figure out from reading so many readings like this, and so much energy like this, and for so many of these types of individuals, spiritual people, healers, it seems that, you're given these challenges, even maybe it may feel like it's been piled upon you over, a lifetime, right? And you're giving these challenges so that you know what it feels like to go through various types of hardships, okay? Various types of hardships, because that makes you extremely relatable, okay? And it gives you a deeper understanding and a load of wisdom. Oftentimes it really does propel folks, the harder the experience, and especially if they keep piling up for you, it really does propel your spiritual awakening. It really does. It's something about, diamonds, like you created under an enormous amount of pressure, right? So it's almost like this, it's almost like a crash course, that you've gone through, as far as, compared to other people who seem to maybe have it easier, have had an easier path up until this point. And so I feel like there's a reason behind it. And I know there are some people who don't like to hear that everything happens for a reason, but I definitely believe it. I do. I do believe it. And, it doesn't feel good. It feels a little bit like someone's, kind of dismissing or invalidating your feelings or experiences while you're going through it. But there usually is, in this type of energy reading, there's always a hindsight 2020, where you do kind of see, oh my gosh, okay, I am actually one of the fortunate ones. I'm really glad that I've already kind of been there, done that, been through the worst, healed from it. I can, the smaller challenges that maybe people are struggling with right now, like I say, people in general, the world over, could be struggling right now. It doesn't really seem so bad for me. And being a light worker, being a healer, or being somebody who's already, who feels very much called to perhaps help others or be in service of others, through difficult times, like you really do act as like a shining light, like a beacon, so that you can help to guide others through it. Because again, there's nothing better than a leader who has been there, done that, knows what it's all about, could write a book about it, And so I just feel like you are qualified. Like you've been given this crash course in almost, I want to say trauma, I want to say it. And it feels like it's, yeah, I mean, I can't control how people take this and what triggers them and what doesn't. So I'm just going to continue on with it and what it is. The reading that I'm picking up on here is like, it has helped you rebuild your life so many times. Again, you have this access to this wisdom, this knowledge and experience that is truly invaluable. When you are being put in a position where you are here to help lead or help others in some type of way. Okay. Now, a lot of this is coming through quite channeled. So if it's not for you, then that's okay. Not for you. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and I am just going to take a sip of my tea and I'm going to get some details with the tarot, but somebody really needed to just hear that as some kind of confirmation or anything, validation, that, or even just to know that there is some higher purpose or higher calling. And that if you haven't figured it out just yet, you're about to see just how fortunate you are. You're one of the lucky ones. You're one of the lucky ones. And it might not feel like it. If someone's going to go ahead and yell at me in the comments for, how does this make me lucky? Da, 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 then you're still over here. Okay. And I hope that you get to a point where you can see how your experiences have led you to the point where, you have learned, you've grown, you're just different, right? You're just different. Okay. Hold on. At the end of the day here, before I do move on to the tarot, I just want to let you know that things are with regeneration going to shift and change, and you really will be able to. It's almost like be grateful or thankful for the experiences that have helped mold and transform you throughout this lifetime. Okay, so I don't want to talk too much more on the heavier stuff. I really do want to focus on the regeneration. Okay, I do want to focus on, maybe the shift in perspective. Yeah, let's just see what comes out here. Okay, a little bit of a heavier reading, but that's okay. And there's the heavy energy right there with the 10 of Wands. It has been a lot. and there's no denying it. There's no sugarcoating it here, folks. You have had a lot to carry, okay? A lot has been piled upon you, and it is time for you to let it go. If the 10 of Wands, it's like, sometimes it speaks to a burden that we willingly carry, okay? And, we get to a point where it's like, yeah, we're still able to function, but it's a struggle and things are heavy, and it's just time to let it all go. We can't carry it all anymore. If it's past, if it's traumas, if it's, whatever it is, holding on to feelings of, grief and sadness and loss and abandonment and all these issues, it's time to put that down. Okay, it's time to put it down. All right, now how can we do that, Spirit, please? Because I feel like that is just the natural next question. How can someone just drop it, let it go? How can someone here, what do we need to do in order to just simply let it go? Let it go. It's not for you. Focus on, look at the juxtaposition here. The 10 of Wands to the 10 of Cups. It's a decision. Spirit's telling me it's a decision. Okay. And it may sound like, oh, that's easy to say, but it's also kind of easy to do when you make a conscious decision that, what, I'm not going to let my past, or I'm not going to let my bad experiences or my trauma or my issues, or my baggage even, or all of it. I'm just not going to let it affect my life anymore. I'm not going to let it affect my attitude, my outlook. I'm not going to let it stop me. I'm not going to let it stand in my way. There's something to be said about this, people who wallow, and I'm not trying to be rude, but it is what it is. Like, in this life, in this game of life, we are literal beacons that tune ourselves to frequencies, right? We're like little radio antennas, if that's your thing. And we tune ourselves to certain frequencies. If we're constantly focusing on our upsets, our stress, our traumas, our, bad experiences, the past, we're actually tuned into a frequency where we bring in more of those feelings, right? Like attracts like, and that's just part of what it is. It's a law of the universe. So there is a point where we can consciously decide, even if we're faking it until we make it, we can make a conscious decision to say, no, I'm not going to focus on that anymore. I'm going to say, okay, well, obviously those people, those situations, they just weren't for me. Now let's think about what is for me. Okay, let's focus on what I want to see happening. Let's focus on what's going to bring in my happiness, my abundance. Let's switch gears here. Let's change the channel. All right. And it does come. You have to make a decision. Like I said, if you fake it till you make it, that's cool. Because you still, it really depends on your point of attraction, right? If you're sitting and wallowing in the energy of, oh, woe is me, you're not going to necessarily lift your head up to look around and see, the bright, beautiful sunshine or the rainbow or whatever, like all the good things in your life. You're going to focus on what was lost, what's heavy, what's wrong, and so, unless there's some kind of mental illness or medical reason, I'm not talking about like depression and things, you can be treated for those things. But if that's the case, then of course seek medical whatever attention, right? Go to a medical professional to help. But there are ways in which you can flip the switch, right? If it's not a medical issue, you can make a conscious decision to say, no more of this. I'm choosing to be happy. I'm choosing to say yes to life. I'm choosing to look at things differently. I'm choosing to let it go, because my past or these traumas or these challenges or these people, those situations, they do not define me. And I'm over it. Okay. I'm just done. It's just weighing me down. Right. And so when you do that and you start to switch gears and change channels and switch your frequency and change how you're thinking and change what your focus is, you will start to, you're changing your point of attraction, right? So if you're focusing on all the things that are going great for you, or all the things that you want to happen, or, all the positive, it's like, it's switching gears, when you focus on the positive things in your world, and even if it's a little thing, or even like I said, if you have to fake it till you make it, look around you, say what you're happy for, think, be what you're grateful for. You're literally changing your frequency, and you're changing what you are attracting into your life. All right. Now, obviously, we can't control if bad things happen to good people. Yes, they do. It happens all the time. It's not always about, karma, or, oh, you deserved that bad thing to happen to you. No, that's not how it works. But, we can, again, there's something to be said about making a conscious decision to not let it control the rest of your life, okay? Because really all we have is this moment right now. That's all we really have. And we can make a decision in each new moment to change our point of focus, right? To focus on the positive, focus on what we do have, focus on what we would like to see, and then watch how, again, even if you're faking it, watch how things start to shift and change, and how much lighter you begin to feel. Okay. Now, if it's a lot of unprocessed stuff, of course, it's really helpful to go see a therapist, or go confide in someone, or get some kind of help. Like I said, seek professional help in some way to help you do switch gears. It's something that's well advised here. But again, I want to see what other messages want to come through in this reading. Okay, I actually went and got a different deck that I was called to grab, and I will pull from that in a minute here. I just want to see what else we need to know here. Yeah. Eight of Cups. See, Eight of Cups, Four of Wands, Eight of Wands. Give me a second here. Where are you going? Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. We have the Nine of Wands in reverse at the bottom of the deck, so we'll come back to that in a second here. Look, I just wanted to know what was going to happen, right? What is this regeneration about once you flip the switch, right? Because I feel like that is all it's going to take here, especially with the not for you, the regeneration. Once you come to that point where you consciously decide that that thing or that situation is not for you, and you are tired of carrying around the burden and the pain and the sadness, and retelling yourself all the stories on which, oh, people always leave, or this always happens, blah, blah, blah. Once you start to switch that internal dialogue, again, if you have to fake it till you make it, do that, because it is going to propel you in a completely new direction. And I feel like, and of course we'll get to those details in a second here, but I feel like at the end of the day, you are going to look back and say, why didn't I do this earlier? Why didn't I do it earlier? But always, things happen for a reason. It feels like the time has come when you are ready to go ahead and let this go. All right. So the time has come. And when you do that, it's like the Eight of Cups. To me, the Eight of Cups is such a powerful moment on your journey when you do make that conscious choice. That it's like, okay, yeah, these are the stories I've told myself for a very long time. This has been my experience, but those experiences do not define me anymore. There is something missing from my world, and I am being brave enough to go off and seek in search for what that is. What is that thing that is going to make me happy? I need something different. I need something to change here. This can't be all there is for me. So the Eight of Cups is when like I said, it's a radical act of self-love, when our love for the self, okay, is so powerful that we say, this is the best thing that I could do for me right now. This is it. And it's going to be, it could be a difficult decision to make, or maybe you feel like it's going to be hard to walk away from the situation or the person, or whatever the case is here. It could be a place you live, it could be a job for some of you, all right? It could be any of these things. When you decide to go off in search of something that is more fulfilling, that is a better life, or is a different path or a different way of thinking, because you want something more, you always, always, always walk directly into your happiness. I got to tell you that, because it is almost like a test of faith or a test of will, test of strength, because with the Eight of Cups, it's like we have invested in this thing emotionally for so long, right? That when we just finally, throw your hands in the air and say, you know what, fuck it, put it in the fuck it bucket. I just don't care anymore. I'm done. I'm tired of carrying this around with me. I just cannot anymore. It's too heavy. No matter the cost, right? You're just done. I'm going to be happy, and that is it from now on. I'm going to do things that make me feel good, right? I'm going to talk to people that make me feel good. I'm going to put myself in situations that make me feel good. I'm going to eat the food that makes me feel good. I'm going to, do the activity that makes me feel good. I'm going to, whatever, all of the things, whatever you're going to do that makes you feel good. You are literally creating a brand new foundation for yourself, where you can feel like you finally got to a place where you're happy, where you feel stable, where you feel successful, where you feel like, I did it, I made it out. You get to the other side, and you do end up finding that joy, that bliss, that happiness. And you're going to look back wondering, why did I spend so much time, wallowing over this, when there's so much more out there for me. There's so much more opportunity. There's so much more, there's something bigger here for me, and it's really beautiful. After you make that decision, you will propel. Okay. The Eight of Wands here. Okay, once you start to feel solid in your decision and happy with it, happy with what you've done, and you see some success in your world, you see these things coming into your life, you're attracting new situations, new people, new feelings of, just general overall happiness. The Eight of Wands propels you towards something. That's why I needed to get one more card here. And look at what you've been propelled towards: the sun. You're going from the darkest time in your life to the lightest time in your life, meaning warmth, growth, happiness, joy, wonder, looking at the world from a different perspective, absolutely. And not only that, but bringing in much lighter experiences into your world. You are headed into, this is a total regeneration. It's like you are headed, like people are going to be like, what happened to you? They're going to be like, what did you do? What did you do to turn your life around so quickly? Or, it's like, they're not going to recognize you. People in your world won't even recognize you. And mostly because, it does seem to me that if this is your reading, you're probably leaving a lot of people in your world, or walking away, and meeting new people, and putting yourself, in new situations again, because I feel like it's a timeline shift is what we're reading on, like essentially it is what it is, because you have changed your frequency. You will have changed your frequency so much that you will not even be attracting in the same people as you once did. Okay. By continuing to stay on that vibration, by focusing on all the things, that you have or will be letting go of. Again, it really depends on where you are on this journey, but I need to tell you that it's like, there's this feeling of, what was I even waiting for? Because the joy, the bliss, the happiness that you could have or will have, it's really just a much better option for you. It's like you can stay here and you can continue to carry the burden and the sadness and the past and all that, or you could step into a very beautiful and bright future. Okay. Now I wanted to come back to this Nine of Wands in the reverse because um, it, in the upright, it speaks to the wounded warrior. Okay. This is the wounded warrior. This is somebody who is very fearful, doubtful, feeling like they can't keep going, feeling like it's been too much. I've worked really hard. I've had so many battles, right? Each one of these wands really truly represents a battle that you have had to fight for and you have maybe won. And it's taken you a lot to get to even still be standing, right? That's why we call it the wounded warrior. And especially there's always bandages and stuff and this guarded position, right? Like you're guarding and protecting yourself and protecting what you've, fiercely protecting what you've been through, your experiences that shape and defined you. When you let that go and you get out of the fear and the doubt and that, the feeling of I can't carry on, or I can't push through this, I can't do this. When you let that go, when you stop, holding on to all of these painful experiences that have defined you up until this point, when you let that all go, okay, that is when you will be able to actually change something in your life. Okay. When you let it go, you can do it. When you come to it in your mind, it's a thing that, it's one of those, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink kind of situations that we're reading on. This is a decision that you have to come to on your own. All right. So if you're coming through to this reading and you're feeling a certain type of way, maybe you're feeling triggered or called out or any of these like difficult stuff, I just ask that maybe you sit with it, because maybe it was put on your path for a reason to hear this stuff, right? If it's something that you already know and feel intuitively and feel, or maybe you've already been through it, maybe it's just here as validation, confirmation, or just a reminder for some of you that, yeah, you're making the right choice. You're making the right choice here for yourself, for your future, for your happiness. We've got you headed towards the sun. And I do want to point out here with this regeneration, on this path, if you do make this decision to just let it go, you are going to end up here. This is your next experience. Now, I don't know how much y'all, obviously you're somewhat into tarot if you're here watching a reading. But if you study it, if you want to know, Tarot 101, is the major arcana energy. These are experiences, situations, and lessons, things that we have to go through, and things that, we can't really change. They're experiences that come through from, they're set on our path by the divine, right? Everything else we can change, right? All of the minor arcana things, we can make decisions and make changes. But I like that where you are right now, even if you're just thinking of changing your mindset, or working on what vibration you're putting out there into the world, changing your tuning, and just focusing on, what you want to see rather than what's already been and how you've been disappointed in the past, then your next experience is going to be the sun. And that's the most positive experience in the deck. Okay. So I don't know whose reading this is, but it just seems like a no-brainer, to me, and someone who's already been through some of this myself, like, been through this point where, you have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and say, enough's enough. I've given myself enough time. I've been in this state for too long. I'm getting myself out of it. Okay. I can't live like this forever. Something's got to give. Something's got to change. And it's never going to be something that comes and saves you from the outside. It's going to be something that you do from the inside that will show up on the outside. The work is done on the inside first. Okay. There's no white knight. There's no one coming to do the work for you. It's a you decision. And once you make that choice, boom, you're switching gears here, okay? You're switching timelines. Whatever terminology you want to make, things are going to look a lot different for you, and be very extremely positive, okay? Things are going to shift for your greatest and highest good here, okay? So I believe in you. You can do this. I believe in you, and I really do hope that this message reaches the people who really need to hear it right now. It's it is what it is. Okay. It's intense. It's real. It's not sugar coated. And it's part of life. It's part of life. And I believe in you. Now, we were talking about your path, right? Your struggle, right? And again, there is a little bit of a thing here, like I said, with people who have a higher calling on their life, often go through the worst of times before this moment happens, when they decide to consciously switch the vibe, right? They decide to consciously decide that, no, from this point forth, I refuse to be defined by my trauma, by my past, by this situation, by this person, by these people, by this job, by this town, whatever it is, okay? It's a decision you make. It's a decision you make, and it is going to pay off. Okay, it's going to pay off. Now, some of you are going to be thrust into a leadership position, okay? Okay. Some of you will be. Okay, this is almost like in training. All right. But I feel like that's almost another reading. It kind of took a little bit of a turn, so it may be a little bit too deep of a theme for this one. Maybe we'll come back to it. But I have here a deck that I really love. It's a little bit, it can be a little bit wordy. They could have dumbed it down a little bit. Just even for me, it is whatever, but it is by Esther Hicks, right? The Teachings of Abraham, or Esther Hicks, okay? And it is called, I don't remember. Hold on. I sell it in my shop, so I went and got it. Ask and it is given cards, okay? So it's Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Teachings of Abraham. All right, so obviously I've already shuffled and we've got some here on the table. So let's read what messages came out for you. All right, the first one that came out here was, my desires and beliefs are only thoughts, right? We need to put down those beliefs that aren't working for us anymore, right? And replace them with the beliefs that will work for us, okay? So again, my desires and beliefs are only thoughts. Your desires and beliefs are just thoughts. Ask and it is given. You ask through your attention, through your wanting, through your desire. That is the asking. Whether you desire it to happen or you desire it not to happen, you are asking. Right. So our energy goes where our attention flows, right? Energy flows where our attention goes. However that saying is. Basically, it's a decision to stop giving attention to the terrible things that have happened and start asking for what we want by putting our intention and attention onto the things that are going to bring in happiness for us, okay? So ask and it is given. My life is supposed to be fun. And here's that decision, right? This is where you end up, okay? When you make this statement, my life is supposed to be fun, right? And that's what you're going to focus on, and that's what you're going to get, okay? The sun is fun energy, all right? So be easy about all of this. Life is supposed to be fun, It is Abraham's powerful desire that you return to your state of self-appreciation. We want you to feel love for your life, for the people of your world, and most of all, for yourself. There is great love here for you. There is great love here for you. Life is supposed to be fun. Okay, we have two more, but I need a sip of tea. I don't think I've ever had this one before, but it says, what if Source were standing in my physical shoes? And it's interesting that it gives off this sun vibe, but let's see what it says. It is not your job to make something happen. Your work is to simply determine what you want. If we were standing in your physical shoes, our attention would be upon bringing ourselves into alignment with the desires and preferences that we have launched. We would consciously feel our way into alignment, consciously make that decision, right? We're going to focus on what it is that we want, and we don't have to make it happen. We just have to order it, right? We have to put in our order, okay? And we do that by what we pay attention to and what we put our focus upon, right? Life is always in motion, so I cannot be stuck, right? This is a good one, especially if you feel like you have been stuck in this, right? It is not possible to stand still or be stuck because energy and therefore life is always in motion. Things are always changing. The reason it may feel to you as if you are stuck is because while you're continuing to think the same thoughts, things are changing, but they are changing to the same thing over and over because of the thoughts that you're continuing to think over and over. If you are focused on what it is that hasn't gone right for you, right? Instead of putting attention on what you want to happen instead. All right. So I feel like that is the message. I'm going to just, I'm going to put a little affirmation on it. And again, those cards are in my other room. Hold on. Okay, here they are. So let's just go ahead and put a nice little affirmation on the end of this reading. It has been a long one, longer than I usually go ahead and do, but this has been a pretty important message here for those of you who need to hear it. For anyone who feels like giving energy exchange, you can do so by leaving me a comment, or you can, if you don't feel like commenting, you can hit the like button, or you can subscribe if you're new here to show support. You can also go over to Buy Me a Coffee and buy me a coffee if you feel like it. Either way, I love and appreciate every single one of you. All right, so here's your affirmation to end this reading. I trust the process of life. There is a rhythm and a flow to life, and I am part of it. Life supports me and brings to me only good and positive experiences. I trust the process of life to bring me my highest good. Okay, that's super powerful. If you want to work with it, go ahead and, pause it, get a pen, paper, write it down, whatever you got to do, put it in your phone, screenshot it, I guess. You can screenshot it. It's kind of hard to read, but it's pretty important, right? Life supports me and brings to me only good and positive experiences, even just that one sentence. Okay. All right. I'm sending you so much love. And yeah, you've got this. I believe in you. Okay. I will speak to you again soon. We'll probably be back with just love readings, because those are fun too. Yeah, it just really, whatever floats your boat here, friends. If you have any ideas for readings, or if you really like these longer style channel type of spiritual messages, also please let me know, right? I want to give the tribe what they want. I'm sending you lots of love, friends, and I hope you have a blessed day. Take care. She said she only loved me. Thought through the card that wasn't in the deck. The card my finger touched. Think I got my wish. For sure when it's all done. She said she was beautiful.